When we go back to verse 4, right, of Hebrews chapter 11, it says, by faith Abel offered to God a better sacrifice. The word there is thusia, which in Hebrews 7 verse 27 is translated as sin offering. Why was Abel offering a sin offering? Why was he making a sin offering? He was making an offering for his sin. So why was he making an offering for sin? It means he was in covenant with God. He was in covenant with God. That is why he's making a sin offering to God. And what was the purpose or the function of a sin offering? The function of a sin offering is to remove sin. So that sin offering, we know, as Hebrews tells us, the blood of animals cannot remove sin. So that animal was typological. That sin offering was pointing forward, right? And it was pointing backward to the promised seed, Genesis 3:15, and it was pointing forward to the promised seed, Galatians 3:16, in whom all the nations, including Abel, would be blessed. And what was that blessing? The removal of his sin. So now, what is the function of sin? Sin was what separated Adam from God. So the promised seed, the function of the promised seed was to reconnect man to God. And where did that disconnection happen? It happened in the Garden of Eden, in that paradise land. What happened when Adam sinned? He was disconnected, right? He was disconnected from God. Well, how was that disconnection portrayed? It was portrayed by Adam being cast out of the land. He was cast out of the Garden of Eden, that land, that holy land. The land, the holy land, the Garden of Eden, had a function of portraying the relationship between God and man, in which God and man were at one. They were in fellowship. There was no sin between them. So when Adam sinned, he lost that oneness. Sin separated him from God, and he was dispossessed of the land. Therefore, the promised seed would be the one who would bring man into repossession of that true land, that what the Garden of Eden land, what was the function of it? To represent that oneness, that connection, that fellowship with God. That was the land. And that land, that connection had to come with the removal of sins, which was why Abel was offering a sin offering, because he wanted removal of sins so that he can come into the land, the oneness with God. So Abel had a land promise, and that is why he is listed in all of these, with all of these people who God made promises of land to. But just because we don't have it written and recorded that God said something to Abel, well, why was Abel giving a sin offering? Because he was asking for the removal of sin, which had disconnected him from God, and that connection was only to be restored in Christ, in that future promised land. So that means that once the promised seed came, then God could gather from Abel, Enoch, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all of those people mentioned in Hebrews chapter 11, he can gather all of them, whether they be living or dead, gather all of them into Christ, under that one king, into that land, the presence of God with their sin removed.